No certainties in life, and certainly not Washington, D.C., but I believe that the vast majority of Democrats and Republicans in the House and Senate still favor strong continued support. President Biden uses the terms as long as it takes. I say that, but I always add as quickly as possible. Um, so what you're seeing is um, the farthest outreaches of the caucus, particularly on the right. When there was a resolution to end the funding, it was from, I think it was signed by 11 members. But I think what I would be concerned about is the fact that it seems to have a disproportionate influence over the current speaker because of our unique political situation and the rules of the House. Any one member can put the speaker back up into a vote. So obviously he feels somewhat vulnerable because of that. So I think that's why you're saying those things. You're hearing those things that they're saying at this point. But look, the day that Speaker McCarthy made some of his comments, the Senate Republicans, I heard, said, we're going to continue this support. And the House Republicans I talked to directly on the floor said, no, we're going to get this done. So I can't tell you what the script is going to be. Will continued funding, which probably have to happen when we get back in September, October. Will it be part of a continuing resolution, part of a larger budget, part of a set aside? I just don't know. But I think the speaker realizes that there's extraordinary support for it, and that the House members, Democratic and Republican, will make sure it gets done one manner or another. I believe the consensus is still a strong support for Ukraine on an ongoing basis. But there's not a conflict that doesn't have some war weariness at some point another. So, I feel it's my role to continue to inform, educate, advocate. As you know, I've been to Ukraine. I was there a year ago, plan to go back as soon as possible, and to continue to talk about it in the media, on the House floor, but particularly when I meet with my constituents across the district. Even during the Second World War, there were films that came out in the middle of it by Frank Capra. They were basically Why We Fight. So no one should take for granted that support will continue. I think it will, but it will take some effort. I do think the relative success that the Ukrainian army has had helps, and the attempted coup, I think people saw as a positive thing in the Ukrainian effort. But this we're seeing, this is going to take a while, and it's going to take concerted effort to keep the American people informed and continue advocating for the right thing here. What the president is doing is drawing down on past past approvals by the House, right? So you may have heard there was a Pentagon budgeting error, and they discovered there was more money available. So I think what's already been approved by Congress, the president is drawing down on. And I believe that'll take us into, at the very least, the end of summer, into the beginning of fall. But that's when we're going to have to do this. So the legislation you're talking about, when we pass something or when the president draws down, it's not just pulling the numbers out of the air, right? It's thoughtful discussion with our State Department and other agencies, as well as the military, talk about what exactly is needed in economic, humanitarian, and military aid. And this is all, to my understanding, been done in consult with the Ukrainian government and its military as to what actually is needed, what's worked, and how this process has gone forward. So I was in Poland twice last year at the location where, the the resources were coming in and then shipping off to the border. So I think what's going on right now is discussions about what would be needed in the next and the amount and where that would take us.